After the sacred revelation of the Day of Atonement, Leviticus 17 continues the theme of holiness, focusing on the sacredness of blood and the reverence due to every act of sacrifice. If Leviticus 16 showed how sin is atoned for, Leviticus 17 shows why blood is so important to God. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and his sons and to all the Israelites and say to them, 'This is what the Lord has commanded.'" God began by commanding that no one in Israel, not priest or common person, was to sacrifice an animal anywhere except at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Any person who killed an ox, lamb, or goat in the field and did not bring it to the tabernacle was to be cut off from the community. This law preserved the unity and purity of worship. It prevented the people from imitating pagan nations, who often sacrificed to false gods in open fields or secret places. God was establishing a central truth. Worship belongs only to Him, and every offering of life must be presented in His presence. These sacrifices, the Lord said, are so that the Israelites will bring to the Lord what they would otherwise sacrifice in the open fields. He was teaching them that life itself is sacred. It is not ours to give or take casually. Every animal slain for food or offering was to be brought before Him, the giver of life. Even the act of eating was meant to be an act of reverence and gratitude. Then God gave one of the most foundational statements in all of Scripture. "For the life of a creature is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for your souls. It is the blood that makes atonement for one's life." This verse reveals why blood is holy, because it represents life, and life belongs to God. When blood is shed, life is poured out, and thus blood becomes the means by which sin is covered. Without it, there can be no reconciliation between God and man. That is why God strictly forbade the Israelites from eating blood. To consume it would be to disregard the sacredness of life and the purpose for which God had given it: atonement. The Lord said, "Any Israelite or foreigner among you who eats blood, I will set my face against that person and cut them off from their people." Even when hunting or killing animals for food, the blood was to be drained and covered with earth, an act of respect and submission. God was teaching His people that every life, human or animals, is His. To shed blood was to touch something sacred, and to misuse it was to violate the holiness of the Creator. These laws also protected Israel from pagan rituals, where blood was drunk or offered to idols as part of occult practices. God separated His people from every form of spiritual corruption. Their worship was to be pure, reverent, and centered on Him alone. The chapter ends with a warning against eating animals that die naturally or are torn by wild beasts, again emphasizing that life and death are sacred boundaries not to be treated lightly. Leviticus 17 is short but profound. It stands as a bridge between the rituals of atonement and the moral laws that follow. Here the focus shifts from the priest's role to the responsibility of every believer. Holiness was not confined to the altar. It extended to the dinner table. Every meal, every sacrifice, every drop of blood was a reminder that life is a gift from God, sustained by His mercy and redeemed through His grace. And once again, every line points us to Jesus Christ. He fulfilled this law perfectly, not by bringing the blood of bulls or goats, but by offering His own blood on the cross. Hebrews 9:12 declares, "He entered the most holy place once for all by His own blood, having obtained eternal redemption." The blood that once symbolized life now brings life. Eternal, unending, holy life went to all who believe. When we see the blood of Christ, we see the fulfillment of Leviticus 17. The life of the flesh is in the blood, and it has been given for atonement. Leviticus 17 reminds us that our lives are not our own. Every breath, every heartbeat, every drop of life within us belongs to the God who gave it and who redeemed it through the blood of His Son. Next comes Leviticus 18, where God gives moral laws concerning purity and relationships, calling His people to live differently from the nations around them.